Chapter 18, Locked and Loaded in Downtown Chokecherry. Toppings dripped off the loaded hot dog as Casey scanned the street for the gun store. He rounded the corner and saw a brick storefront with bars in all the windows, including the window on the front door. A sign in blood-red letters read, "Locked and Loaded." A bug zapper hung from the corner of the building, snapping and buzzing as it turned a bug into particles. Can't believe I'm about to go in here right now, Casey thought. But if this FRA gig allows me to take down Gunner... Casey had a sudden idea and stopped outside of the store to make a phone call. Chewbacca! Alley-oop, what's up? Just got done eating, you. I'm about to... Casey looked up at the gun store. It's a long story, but I need your help with something. But only if you promise you won't do anything illegal. I like where this is going. Tell me more. I'm trying to find information on someone of interest to me. You've come to the right place, Allie cracked her knuckles. For work or pleasure? Casey balanced the hot dog on the store's outside windowsill and pulled out the bail piece. Sort of work, but it's hush-hush, just between you and me, okay? Goes without saying, give me the deets. Do you have something to write this down? Hold on. Casey could hear Allie shuffling around. If you were on Jibble, you could send it on there. I'll download that soon and send a picture if you can't find them, but just take down what I have over the phone. At my computer, hit me. Casey read from the bail piece. Name is Lancer Bass. He goes by Gunner, former ex-Delta Force operator who spent time in Texas but lives in North Dakota now. Likely lives in or close to Chokecherry. Date of birth, May 1, 1985. Allie typed along on her keyboard. Got it. Anything else? He beat a guy to death down in Texas outside of a bar, and he works for an oil company that goes by the name Rebel Resources LLC. I tried to look the company up, but hit a dead end when it linked back to Delaware. Better to leave these things to the professionals, Allie giggled. What are you hoping to find? First, promise me you won't do anything illegal. I promise I'm not crossing my fingers right now. You better not be. So I'm hoping you can see if there's anything I can use to get close to him outside of his work location. The oil drill he works at is right across from where I work in Knife River. See if you can find out where he lives, hangs out, any known travel patterns, other connections, that sort of thing. On it. Allie typed on her keyboard so loudly he could hardly hear her. When do you need this by? The sooner the better, but don't take away from your schoolwork or get into trouble. Casey tucked the bail piece in his pocket and picked up the hot dog. Last week at school is always a joke. Just download Jibble and I'll be in touch soon. Thanks, Allie. Be safe. Later, Chewie. Casey entered the gun store to the smell of oil and greasy metal. There was a long glass cabinet that wrapped around the entire store in a U-shape. The cabinet was full of handguns with little white price tags attached. Long-range weapons like rifles and shotguns canvassed the walls behind the cabinet. A man sitting on a stool behind the cash register looked up at him. Chell's new guy? That's me, I guess. Casey made his way down to the register, admiring the weapons along the way. He'd grown up shooting firearms with his brother and knew how to handle handguns, rifles, and shotguns. You AK, Bob? In the flesh. Come over and check out the selection. Chell told me you like loaded wieners. Casey handed him the hot dog. AK Bob let out a belly laugh and took the dog. That's funny, kid. Thanks for the wiener. These things are my kryptonite. Anytime. Hey, is AK Bob short for Robert? AK Bob bit into the dog while he shook his head. He had a pot belly and greasy ponytail extending down his back like bacon sludge. No, my real name is Jacob, but I know everything there is to know about AK-47s. AK Bob gazed up at the wall behind him. Casey turned and saw an entire section of AK-47s, including a gold-plated AK in the center. Is that actual gold? Sure is, and it cost me a fortune to get it. It was in Saddam Hussein's personal collection at his palace. I knew a guy who knew this military procurement specialist that scored it for me. Let's definitely put that on Chell's tab for starters, Casey smiled. As long as you're cool with him garnishing your wages for a year or two. But yeah, I'm an AK nut and everyone said I look like a Bob, so the name AK Bob stuck and I went with it. Here, try this on. AK Bob set the hot dog down and hoisted a Kevlar vest onto the cabinet. This is an XL. What are you like, 6'4", 6'5"? 6'5", flat-footed, 6'6" with my Red Wing boots on. You can probably go double X, but you want it snug. Try the XL first. Casey slid the vest on and felt the weight on his shoulders. He tied the straps on the side and lifted his arms up. The vest stayed in place and wasn't too tight. Feels pretty good, actually. Looks perfect. Let me see it quick. Unstrapping the vest, Casey handed it back. AK Bob set the vest on the counter and dug into a drawer. Let's see here. No, not loss prevention agent or CPD. Oh, here it is. AK Bob pulled a patch out with white lettering and stuck it on the front of the vest. He handed it back to Casey. Put it back on so you can see how it feels with your weapons. Fugitive recovery agent. Casey held the vest up and admired it for a moment. He strapped the vest back on and watched AK Bob heave a crate onto the cabinet. Just got this shipment of non-lethals in this morning. See if there's anything that excites you. Otherwise, I could go in the back room and search for more. I was curious about this when you and Chell talked on the phone. Casey rummaged around the crate, taking out a few weapons. There was a metal retractable baton, baseball bat, handheld blackjack, and a wooden billy club. He gripped the billy club and swung it over the cabinet. The grooved handle offered a balanced grip, and the shorter length of the club compared to a standard baseball bat gave him ultimate control. This one feels like an extension of my hand. Classic choice ever since those bobbies in their tall wool hats and London's Metro Police adopted them back in the day. They've been a constant companion to the law. Oh, I think there's a second one in there somewhere, a matching set. Casey dug around the crate and found the other billy club. He got into his Jeet Kune Do ready stance and swung his clubs. I bet Hondo would approve of these, he thought. These are perfect. I'll go with these too. Chell mentioned something about restraints too? That's right. AK snapped his fingers. I forgot to mention to Chell, I'm all out of handcuffs. Word of advice, just head to the hardware store and pick up some duct tape or zip ties. They work just as well, if not better, than handcuffs. Thanks for the tip, and for getting me outfitted. You don't have a backpack I can put this stuff in, do you? I'm on a motorcycle. Be right back. AK Bob went into a back office and returned a moment later with a black military backpack. Here you go. Should be able to fit it all inside. Just what I needed. You sure Chell is cool with putting this all in his tab? We're all square. AK Bob picked up his hot dog and bit into it. Let me know if you ever need anything a little more powerful. These are just floor displays. I have enough firepower at my offsite warehouse to outfit a small army. Not sure if you heard on the phone, but I'm always up for coming along on one of your ops. I'm up late most nights playing Call of Duty, so you can call me whenever. Just dial up the store number. It forwards to my cell when I'm not here. I'll keep that in mind. Hey, do you ever sell weapons to the security guys in the area who work out in the oil fields? Some of them look like ex-special forces guys. AK Bob shook his head. I know who you're talking about, but no. Those guys usually have their own suppliers from back east, but they do come in for ammo. Casey dropped one of Gunner's shell casings on the table. Like this? AK Bob studied the shell. 45 auto, federal. You know, I don't sell a ton of federal premium outside of law enforcement and military. It's not widely used for target practice because of the cost. Casey pulled out his phone and held up the picture he took of Gunner's mugshot. Do you recognize this guy? AK Bob squinted at the picture. Gunner? Oh yeah, see him out at Big Country shooting range quite a bit. Him and his crew are stone cold. Good shots, huh? AK Bob tapped his fingers on the table. Not sure if it was Gunner or one of the other guys, but I swear he could shoot the wings off a dragonfly in flight. Damn. Casey's eyes widened. We'll have to keep that tidbit in mind. You shoot? Grew up with guns, so I can usually hold my own. Maybe I'll see you out at the range sometime for a friendly shooting competition. AK Bob pulled out an AK-47 from behind the counter like he was ready to go to the range that instant. As long as we aren't shooting AKs, Casey tossed the vest and clubs in the backpack and made for the exit. Fine, you choose the weapon. Thanks again for the gear. And thanks for stopping by Locked and Loaded. Happy hunting. Casey waited for the door to close behind him. Happy hunting, huh? It won't be so happy for Gunner once I catch that son of a bitch.